Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Yamuna. He stole the garments of the young damsels of Vraja who were bathing there. He delights in the mellows of the rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavana, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakura Bhakti Vinoda. Krishna Kanaya Lala Ki Jai. There's some more here. Yasumati Nandana Bhajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjanakana. Yasumati Nandana Bhajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjanakana. Gopi Parana Dana Madana Manohara Gopi Parana Dana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidana Kaliya Damana Vidana Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Nahavina Nagarabara Vamsivadana Suvasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vajjana Palana Surakulana Sana. I need a microphone for here. I need a microphone. Jajana Palana Surakulana Sana. Nanda Godana Rakovala. Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Let's say I'm going to put these on the board. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Vasanahara Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarasika Kripa Moya Shirada Vallabha Vindavana Ratabala Shirada Vallabha Vindavana Ratabala Pakati Vinodasraya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yashamati Nandana Vajbora Nagara Yashamati Nandana Vajbora Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Gokula Ranjana Dana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kalidamana Vidana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo, Nitai Gora Premanande ki jai, Gora Premanande Haribo. Give one back there right away. Govinda Hari, Gopal Hari. Govinda Hari, Gopal Hari. Jai Jai Deva Hari. Jai Jai Deva Hari. Jaya Jaya Deva Hari. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara, Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara, Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara. Nanda Kumara Madana Gopala, Nanda Kumara Madana Gopala, Madana Gopal, Madana Gopala, Mohana Rupa. Madhana Gopala Mohana Rupa Mohana Rupa Nanda Kumara Bolo Mohana Rupa Nanda Kumara Jai Jaya Deva Hari Jai Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Taka taka tum taka taka tum taka taka tum taka. No, that's all right. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara Nanda Kumara Madhana Gopala Nanda Kumara Madhana Gopala Nanda Kumara Madhana Gopala Mohana Rupa Gopala Mohana Rupa Madhana Gopala Mohana Rupa Nanda Kumara Mohana Rupa Nanda Kumara Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Prabhu Jaya Prabhu Dina Dayaladi Jaya Prabhu Dina Dayaladi Jaya Rama Hari Jaya Krishna Hari Jaya Rama Hari Jaya Krishna Hari Jaya Jaya Sachinanda Gaura Hari Jaya Jaya Sachinanda Gaura Hari Govinda Hari Gopala Hari Govinda Hari Gopala Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara, Vande Krishna Nanda Kumara, Nanda Kumara ki jai, Krishna Kanai Lal ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Premanandi ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tagore Premanandi Ki Jai. So today we're going to discuss a very interesting topic. Previously, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present on the earth, he had a devotee named Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan was actually a Hindu that had converted to Islam. But when he heard about Lord Chaitanya, he became very interested. So he and his brother, Rupa Goswami, they were not Goswamis at that time, they were called Dabir Kas and so forth. They had Muslim names, and they were ministers in the government of Nawab Hussain Shah in Bengal. So they were top ministers in the government, and they were very wealthy. But when they heard about Lord Chaitanya, this saintly person who was doing Harinam Sankirtan in Bengal, they secretly went to meet him. And when they met him, they were very, very impressed. And they were basically no longer part of the Hindu culture or religion, because they were working for Muslims. So there was a very strict rule amongst Hindu Brahmins at that time that if you had any close relationship with a Muslim, like work for a Muslim or anything like that, you were ostracized from being a Hindu. That's why many Hindus became Muslims. They were forced out by the Brahmins. So they inquired of Lord Chaitanya if there was any way that their status could change. And the Lord basically told them that to chant Hare Krishna, and that Krishna would help them. So they followed the Lord's instructions, and one by one, first Rupa Goswami left his position, gave up all his money, all his wealth. He gave half to his family, 25%, I'm sorry, he gave half to the Vaishnavas, 25% he kept in a reserve, and 25% he gave for the maintenance of his family. And that reserve money was to help his family if they ever had any difficulty. And then he left with nothing and went to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He first met him in Prayag, which today is called Allahabad, but it used to be called Prayag. Hopefully it will be called Prayag again. And then after that, he was instructed by the Lord, and then he went to Vrindavan under the instructions of the Lord, because at that time, Vrindavan was not known. There were no temples, there were just villages there, and people knew something about it, but they didn't really, it had been more or less lost, in a sense, over time. So Lord Chaitanya instructed Rupa and Sanatan Goswami to excavate the original places of Krishna's pastimes, build temples, translate and write books explaining the philosophy of Vaishnavism. And in order to do that, he instructed both of them separately at different times for 10 days or more, and in what books that they should write and what subjects they should write about. And both of them were highly educated. They knew Farsi, they knew Sanskrit, they knew Bengali, they knew Urdu, they knew Arabic. They were highly educated persons. They were very, very great scholars already. And now they became sannyasis. Sanatana Goswami had a more difficult time. He sort of covered for his brother when he left first. But now Nawab Hussain Shah was very suspicious of him also. And he wasn't agreeable that they leave because they were valuable ministers. Just like during Akbar's rule, Man Singh was his general, right? He was the top general of the entire Muslim army, right? And so many Hindus entered into the service of the Muslim rulers and became very prominent because they were honest, they were loyal, and they could be trusted, basically. So this was the same thing in Bengal. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami had the highest positions in the government. They were basically running everything for the king. So already it was a great loss that Rupa Goswami disappeared. Now Sanatana Goswami, so that he wouldn't disappear, basically the king put him in jail. And so Sanatana Goswami, he was a very brilliant politician, so he convinced one of the jailers, he bribed him to help him get out, right? And he was able to get out of jail. But before that, the king was very interested, I mean, Nawab Hussain Shah was very interested. He said, who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Sanatana and Rupa had not left at that time. They had to be very careful, because if the king thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was maybe leading a revolution of Hindus against the king, he would have killed him or tried to kill him. So they said, dear Nawab, they said, because you are the representative of God or Allah on this earth, you're the king. Not only that, you are very fortunate because a very great saint has appeared in your country, and he is here to create peace and harmony amongst everyone. And it's a blessing for you that such a saint is here. So they sort of, eased his fears that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu might have a revolution. Why? Because he was drawing gigantic crowds. And then they went and spoke to him, and they explained to the Lord that he should not attract so many people, because the Muslims would get very suspicious and they would do something. And they sort of calmed down the king, and they suggested that he go traveling a little bit, get out of Bengal. Otherwise, they couldn't predict what would happen. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Benares, and then later on, or Kashi, as it was called, and then later on to Prayag, and then later on to Vrindavan. And later on, he came back again, but he traveled through Jharkhand. He did not travel on the regular roads, because at that time there were different kingdoms in northern India. Almost all the kingdoms were ruled by Muslims, and you had to pay tolls. It's just like the 520 bridge, there were tolls and taxes you had to pay. And if they thought you were not a type of person they want in their country, they could kill you, So it was very dangerous going from one kingdom to another, especially someone like Lord Chaitanya. So if he traveled on the roads, all the Hindus would have followed him and done Sankirtan, and it would have caused, it would have been very dangerous. So he traveled through Jharkhand, which is still there today. It's a wild forest. You have the Naxalites and other types of, let's call them dacoits, that live in these forests because they're wild places, and anyone that ventures into them sometimes is killed, You know, even the police, even the army, they get killed easily. If it's not the wild animals and snakes, it's the Naxalites or other dacoits. So there was not different at that time. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went through the forest of Jharkhand, he was doing Harinam Sankirtan. And because he's the incarnation of Krishna, he is non-different thing, he is Krishna, the animals, the tigers, the deer, the rabbits, the different animals started chanting Hare Krishna with him. Now, we can't do that. We don't have that power. But he had that power. And the animals were not trying to kill each other either. They were just in harmony chanting with the Lord. This is a very interesting story. We won't go into that now. But so now Rupa Goswami had left. Sanatana Goswami was in jail. Sanatana Goswami bribes one of the jailers, and they let him loose. And they claimed that he somehow or other he got out, you know, and now he's traveling with one servant, going to meet Lord Chaitanya, and he specifically told the servant, "Don't bring any money with you. We should just travel like mendicants, because people will kill us if they think we have any money." It was dangerous before. You think it's dangerous now. It's much more dangerous before. But they stopped in one inn, or was one place, some dharmshala, and the owner of the dharmshala was a very, very, let's say, clever gentleman, and he perceived that Lord Chaitanya's servant had some gold. So when they tried to get in, the way the dharmshala owner was talking, Lord Chaitanya perceived that he was suspicious of them. So later on, when they were in some room, Lord Chaitanya spoke to his servant and said, "Did you bring any gold with you?" And the servant was hesitant, but then he admitted that he had sewn some gold coins into one of his cloaks. So Lord Chaitanya said, "I told you not to do that." He said, "I could tell that the owner knows that one of us is carrying gold." He said, "He's going to kill us tonight. So you go to him right now and give him all the gold you have." He went and he did it. And the owner was very pleased. He was actually planning to kill them. And then he told the servant, "You leave. As soon as you give him the gold, you leave right away." So the servant didn't give him 5 pieces of gold. He only gave him 4, and the other piece he left. You know. So now Lord Chaitanya is alone, and he continued alone. But because, I mean, Sanatana Goswami was alone, but he continued alone. And at one point, he reaches Vrindavan, and his brother is there. But traveling through Jharkhand, you know, it's very difficult. There's not much to eat. There's water sometimes is unclean. And on the way, he had one very nice chadar that he kept. He brought with him from Bengal. So when he meets Lord Chaitanya, of course he has a beard, he has long hair, and the Lord is not very pleased by that. And he's not very clean because he's been traveling so hard. But he has this very nice chadar on. So the Lord was not, well, he can understand why he was not so clean. So he ordered his one of his servants to give him clean clothes, to shave him. And but he did mention something about the chadar. And Sanatana Goswami realized that maybe he shouldn't have such an opulent chadar. It was the last opulent thing he had. So he went out, he bathed in the Yamuna, and later on he went and found a beggar, a sadhu, but he was very poor, and he had torn dhoti and torn chadar, cloth, and he asked him, "Please, you take mine, you give me yours." And the man was shy. He said, "No, this is such an expensive chadar." He said, "That's okay, I want yours." So then he wore those tattered clothes. Well, he washed them, of course, but he wore those tattered clothes. And he went back. And when he went back, Lord Chaitanya was very pleased. He was shaved up. And very humble. So later on, Lord Chaitanya goes back to Bengal, and Sanatana Goswami eventually goes back to Bengal to see him, traveling through Jharkhand again. This time, by bathing in unclean water, he developed a very bad rash, an itchy rash on his body. And it was so troubling that he decided that when he met Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, during the Jagannath Rath Yatra, when Lord Jagannath comes out in a big chariot, he was going to throw himself under the wheels and commit suicide, looking at Lord Chaitanya. Because he couldn't live with it. It was very, very bad rash, and it was so troubling. And he decided his body was useless. So, at that time, when he first came to Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya asked him to stay with Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was a Muslim who became a devotee, and he had a very difficult time because the Hindus didn't like him, and the Muslims didn't like him. Hindus didn't like him because he was born a Muslim, and they didn't really like Muslims converting to Hinduism. And the Hindus didn't like him because, I mean, the Muslims didn't like him because he converted to being a Hindu, so they both hated him. And the Muslims tried to kill him, but Lord Chaitanya saved him. And then now Sanatana Goswami is staying with him. And at that time, one time the Lord comes to visit him, and he says, you know, Sanatana, it's very bad to harbor the thoughts in your mind to commit suicide. Sanatana was shocked. How does he know? But he's, you know, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he said, your body does not belong to you. It belongs to me. And I need your body to do things that I cannot do. He said, I cannot go to Vrindavan because I promised my mother to stay in Jagannath Puri. But I need you and your brother to go to Vrindavan and excavate the places of pilgrimage of Krishna, to write bona fide books on the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and to show people the proper behavior of sannyasi, of a sannyasi, so that they become inspired by your humility, by your honesty, by your cleanliness, and by your compassion. He said, you have to do this. You cannot entertain the thought of suicide because you don't own this body. I own your body. Now, this is a very significant instruction of the Lord. And it's actually an instruction for all of us. It's just like when this Roe versus Wade and abortion issue became very prominent in America in the 1960s. Women were saying, the government has no right to tell me what I should do with my body. You see? They said they have no right to put their nose into my bedroom, and they don't have any right to tell me what I should do with my body. Therefore, they should make abortion legal. I once met this lady who was talking very proudly about how she had had 5 or 6 abortions. And I said to her, you know, abortion is sinful. You're killing a living entity. She said, no, what are you talking about? It's just a little piece of skin. Ah, you see how they can use language to make something horrible seem like it's nothing. She said, it's just some skin, that's all. I said, okay, it's only skin. Well, look, if you were standing on a corner, let's say we were in Paris. I said, if you're standing on the corner and you take out a knife and you scream out loud, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut off a little piece of my finger. Please watch this. What would happen? They would call the police would come and try and stop you and take you into a psychiatric ward to be analyzed by psychiatrists to see how crazy you are. You know. So, what's the difference between cutting off your finger and aborting a child, right? It's crazy. You're mutilating yourself. You say it's not just it's not just extraction of a little bit of skin. It's actually a living entity. So this whole idea that, you know, I have a right to do what I want with my body is actually not true. Our bodies, our senses, our mind, our intelligence, the process of perception, the objects of perception, all these things belong to God. They've been given to us to use, but if we use them selfishly, when you use something selfishly, it's all usually self-destructive. That's the point. You use something selfishly, you get in trouble usually. And it's self-destructive. And the ultimate supreme self-destruction is abortion, when you're actually killing a living being that's supposed to be your child. Right? It doesn't make sense. So, therefore, Sanatana Goswami was shocked when Lord Chaitanya said this. But he accepted it, that his body actually belongs to the Lord, and the Lord wants to act through his body to do his work, which is to revive Vrindavan, excavate places of Krishna's pastimes, build temples, write books on Vaishnavism, and give an example of an ideal Vaishnava to inspire the people, and especially to help the poor people, right? There were many, when you say poor, they were not indigent, they were not like starving or anything, but they were just simple farmers, and to be there to help them. Right? And that's exactly what he did. So, therefore, this chapter of the Adi Lila of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, it says, Sanatana Goswami says, I am of a low caste and my body is useless for devotional service. When I go to Jagannath Puri, I shall not be able to see Lord Jagannath, nor shall I always be able to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he says, if I sacrifice this body in a good place, my unhappiness will be mitigated and I shall attain an exalted destination. During the Ratha Yatra festival, when Lord Jagannatha comes out of the temple, I shall give up this body under the wheel of his car. After seeing Lord Jagannath, I shall give up my body under the wheel of the car in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This will be the highest benediction of my life. Having made this resolution, Sanatana Goswami went to Nilachala, where he asked directions from people and approached the residence of Haridas Thakur. So we see he's made this decision in his mind. And suicide is a selfish decision. You don't take into account the effect of a person who's thinking like that doesn't take into account the effect it'll have on people that love him or her. And usually people are devastated when someone in the family commits suicide. It's a horrible thing. Just like in this community here, I know at least 3 people that committed suicide in the last 7 years. There were 2 women, and I'm sorry, 4 people, 2 women and 2 men, Hindus, members of the community here. They would come, some regularly, some not very regularly, but they actually committed suicide. One lady hung herself in her closet. Another lady purposely drowned. One man jumped off of Snoqualmie Falls. He went there, climbed over the fence, jumped over, and crushed himself. And another person, I forget exactly how it happened, but it was a horrible thing. So, why would someone think like that? Because they have no actual knowledge of their relationship with God. Now here, Sanatana Goswami, it appears that he has a strong relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and with Lord Jagannath, and he wants to die under the Jagannath cart wheels. So it sounds almost glorious, right? But actually it's selfish. Because Lord Chaitanya made it very clear to him, your body doesn't belong to you. You cannot do this. I have work to do through your body. So these are things that we have to learn. Why? Because like Sanatana Goswami, we can make a decision out of extreme frustration. Okay, you have to tell people to keep quiet. We can make a decision also like this out of depression and extreme, let's say, mental stress to end our own life. And that would be a major mistake, because there are so many things that we can do constructively to serve Radha and Krishna. Just like today, okay, the kids have to be quiet, please. Just like today, last night, we took out our food truck to the University Heights Community Center. We've been going out about 4 months now. Now, if we come 10 minutes late, people start calling up the temple. Where are they? I'm not kidding you. And more than half the people that come, I mean, homeless people come, but the other half are all Indian students. All, you know, very highly educated kids from India who are getting their advanced degrees, masters and PhDs in the University of Washington. Or they're already working in Amazon or Google or Facebook or one of those companies downtown Seattle, right? And they're coming to also, and it's become like a hub of the students, say. And now they are very interested. So because so many of them are coming, now we started a program at this University Heights, 50th and University Way in the U District every Thursday night, where we also distribute prasadam and we have Bhagavad Gita. And then today we went down the street here to the place where they're building low-income buildings for low-income people, families. And there was a religious ceremony where different religious people spoke. We also spoke. And we brought our truck with us. And we served prasadam to everyone for free. And one minister came up to me and said, "What does free mean?" He said, "I've never seen a food truck that's free." I said, "Yeah, this is probably the only free food truck on the west coast of the United States." He said, "Yeah, I believe so." I said, "But what does it mean, free?" I said, "Free means free." He said, "You mean it's free?" I said, "Yeah, free means free." He said, "But how do you do that?" I said, "Well, we believe in God, and God is the richest person. It's one of his opulences. He's the most rich person. So if we serve God, then somehow or other, the money will come." He said, "Wow, you guys have more faith in God than we do." So, you see, that is a fact, that when a person feels helpless and is completely dependent on Krishna, Krishna takes special attention, pays special attention to that person. This concept of helplessness is very important, because in the material world, all of us think that we're very clever and we can dominate by working hard and being clever and so forth. We'll be able to dominate, be able to make money, we'll be able to have, you know, to be the next Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or so forth. However, if we take the opposite point of view, that actually I'm not independent, I'm completely dependent on God. Every asset I have has been given to me by God. My brain, my body, my senses, my intelligence, my mind, all these things are instruments that have been given to me. And what is the correct way to use these things? I have to figure that out. Is it to be selfish and just, you know, accumulate a lot of money and houses and cars and boats and properties? Or is it something else? Well, yes, it is something else. The purpose of life is to understand our relationship to God, to Krishna, act in that relationship, and through that action, which is called seva or devotional service, develop love for God and share that with other people. That is what the purpose of life is, the real purpose. And if we do that, then Krishna will take care of us. It doesn't mean that we're lazy. We work very hard. But Krishna will make it easy for us to maintain ourselves and do so many things. So we've been going out with this truck for the last 4 months. One Indian gentleman came who comes to the temple here, and he brought his kids, and they all volunteered. And they were making rotis and serving the homeless people and other people. And as the evening went on, this Indian gentleman was just surprised. He said, you know, this is a wonderful thing you're doing. All these people are coming. He said, you only have one truck? I said, well, yeah, we only have one truck. We could have more trucks, but, you know, right now we only have one. He said, well, how much does a truck cost? I said, well, I mean, this one costs $90,000, but if we build a second one, we don't have to make it as equipped as this one. You know, you could probably make a second one for $50,000, $60,000. He said, really? He said, I'm going to try and raise that money for you guys. I said, really? Yeah. Now, we'll see if that happens. But no, because he was so impressed. He saw all these people coming. One man came, and he said to us, you know, I only have Bermuda shorts and it's getting cold. You guys have any clothes? And I said, no. I said, we got plenty of hot food, but we don't have any clothes. So he talked with some other people, and one other Indian gentleman was there. He went home. He lives in Shoreline. He went to Shoreline and came back with clothing for that guy. I'm not kidding you. He came back with clothing for that man. And he told me, look, you know, I'll collect some clothes. Next week when you come, I'll bring the clothes and you can give them out. Ah, very interesting. So one thing I told the Indian gentleman who was talking about maybe raising money for a second truck, I told him, you know, if the Indian community helps us, you not only, it's a wonderful thing, but you will get a good name. The Indian community should be seen as giving back to America, because the Indian community is doing very well in this country. This country's been good to them. They are the second or third most wealthy minority in the country right now. Second or third. I said, so when you have such prestigious positions in just a few years, just like 30, 40 years, you've achieved all these things, this community has achieved all, they have to see you as giving back also. And he said, you're right. He said, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to talk to my friends. So this is something that will have a long-term, let's say, benefit for people. What is the benefit? Bharata bhumite haila manushya janmakar, janma sartak parikara upakar. Anyone born in Bharat, Lord Chaitanya has said, has a duty, and their duty is to spread Krishna Upadesh, the teachings of Lord Krishna, which is Bhagavad Gita, all over the world. This is their duty. It's not my duty. I wasn't born in Bharat. I wasn't born in a Hindu family. But because of meeting Srila Prabhupada, I have taken that as my duty also. But just being born in Bharat, you have this duty to spread Krishna Upadesh all over the world. And it's important because Krishna Upadesh, the teachings of Lord Krishna, is specific. It's Bhagavad Gita. The other night, when some Indian students came to our first Bhagavad Gita class at the University Heights Center, one boy after the class said, "Can I speak to you privately?" I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So he came up to me, he said, "You know, I listened to what you said, but I don't agree." I said, "What don't you agree with?" He said, "Look, the traditional culture of India has no God and no philosophy." I said, "What?" I said, "Where did you learn that?" "I'll tell you in a minute. I don't want to say it too quickly, right?" I said, "Where did you?" He said, "So-and-so told me, some big guru in India." He said, "Then why?" I said, "Then why did you come to the class?" He said, "Well, I want to learn Bhagavad Gita." "Well, I want to inform you, Bhagavad Gita is all philosophy about God." You know, I said, "That's what this book is about. I mean, I'm not making it up. I'm not misrepresenting it. That's what it's all about." See? Krishna says, "Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matak sarvam pravartate, iti matva bhajante mam, buddha bhava samanvitaha." He said, "I am the source of everything material and spiritual. Those who know this engage in my devotional service. Those who know this and recognize me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead engage in my devotional service." I said, this whole book that you want to learn about is about God and philosophy. So how can you tell me? And this book was spoken 5,000 years ago to Arjuna. But before that, Krishna spoke it to Ikshvaku, the king of the solar dynasty, in which Lord Ramachandra appeared 2,005,000 years ago. And before that, he spoke it to Vivaswan, or Surya, 140 million years ago. So how can you say that there's no God and no philosophy in Indian culture? I said, this is nonsense. So who told you that? Now, I'm not going to say the name. No, I don't want to say the name because some people are going to get hurt if I say the name. But I'll tell you privately, right? I'll tell you privately. I don't want to say it publicly right now. I will say it in the future, but I won't say it now. But it's a very prominent guru in India. Let's put it like that. Very, very prominent. Okay. So now this boy was shocked. He was shocked. And I said, "Are you going to come back next week for the next lesson?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going to come back." I said, "Do you understand that Krishna spoke this long, long time ago? And this is real Indian culture. This is the real Sanatan Dharma of India. It's all about God, and it's all about philosophy, and it's all about, once you hear the philosophy, you surrender and serve God. That's the whole point. Sarvadharmam parityaja, mam ekam saranam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo, moksisyami mahasucha." Hey Arjuna, give up all your dharmas and just surrender unto me. Mam ekam saranam braja. If you do this, then I will free you from all your pap, all your sinful activities and all your previous karma. Therefore, you have nothing to hesitate for, nothing to doubt, and nothing to fear. That's the ultimate message of Krishna. And how do you surrender? Man manabhava mad bhakto mad yajimam namaskuru mam evaisisi satyante pratijane priyosime. Always think of me. Always. And become my devotee. And always man manabhava mad bhakto mad yaji, worship me. And mam namaskuru, give all your respect and homage to me. If you do this, Arjuna, I promise you, Satyam Te, you will come back to me. This is the ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita. That's all about philosophy and all about God, right? So, there are many, let's say today, Donald Trump is right about one thing. There's plenty of fake news. And it's starting from Bharat. It's not just in the West, it's in Bharat also. The fake news is all about the ultimate destination is impersonal. You have to kill the ego and merge into the light. See? One time, when I was a young brahmachari, I was singing in the streets of Paris, doing Harinam, and one limousine stopped. And someone jumped out of the limousine and came up to me and stopped me singing and said, "Sir, the gentleman in this limousine wants to meet you." Now, this is a true story. I said, "The gentleman in the limousine?" I said, "I don't know anybody who has a limousine." He said, "No, but he wants to talk to you." I said, okay. So I go, he opens the door, I go get into the limousine. It's a big limo, right? Gigantic black, I think it was a Mercedes limousine. And there's a man, an older gentleman back there, and he said, I want you to come to my house. I said, you don't know me. He said, no, I want you to come to my house. I said, what for? He said, I'll tell you when you come. My chauffeur will pick you up. Give me your address. He'll pick you up tonight and bring you to my house. I said, okay. So that night, the chauffeur came with the limousine and drives me way out of Paris, up into the suburbs. And it's not a house, it's a mansion. It's a big mansion, you know, a big fence, and a lot of gardens and everything. And I walk in the house, and the house is like a very, very posh house. And the chauffeur shows me into some room. It's a big dining room, you know, and all crystal chandeliers, and they have all porcelain, you know, dishes and everything. It was very, very opulent. And I'm sitting there. It's a big room. There's a table is a long table. You can have maybe 20, 30 people sit at the table, right? I'm just sitting there. And then the older gentleman comes in. And he said, you know, I'm very interested in you. He's speaking in French to me, right? And he's not sitting there. He's like walking like behind me and going on one side of the table, and he's coming back behind me, going the other side of the table. And, you know, I'm feeling a little bit strange now because, you know, every time he's behind me, I don't know what he's doing. And at one point he said, you know, you should become my disciple. I said, really? I said, you're a guru? He said, yes, I am guru. You should become my disciple. I said, yeah, but I already have a guru. He said, no, 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 that's not a guru. I am the guru. I said, well, what are you teaching? He said, I will teach you. And now when he said that, he was standing behind me. And all of a sudden, he grabbed me, like right here, and started pressing the third eye, right? And he pressed really hard. I didn't know what to do. And he was pressing, pressing. He said, do you see the light? Do you see the light? I said, yeah, I see something, you know. And he said, now you're initiated. Now, this is a true story. I'm not making it up. So he said, now you're my disciple. I've initiated you. I said, okay. See, you think rich people are not crazy? They're some of the craziest people in the world. They're nuts. So I told the man, okay, I'm initiated. I think I have to go home now. He said, no, no, you stay here. I said, no, I have to go get my clothes. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Okay, okay, you go back. You bring everything. My chauffeur will bring you back. I said, okay, very good. So I never went back, right? And he tried to get in touch with me several times, but I just avoided him. This is crazy. He was saying, do you see the light? This is impersonalism. In other words, that light that you may see when someone presses your third eye, so-called, it's supposed to be what's called the Brahma Jyoti, the light emanating from the body of Krishna. But they don't say that. They say it's just light, it's just energy, and we all come from that energy, and we're in the world of illusion, and when we deny ourselves our individuality, and we meditate on the light, then we merge into that light again, and we become God. And there's eternal peace. Now, this is the ultimate fake news. Why? Is there such a thing as that light? Yes, it's emanating from the body of Krishna, and it enters into this world also because it's reflected off of the sun. Therefore, the sunlight is the source of all energy in the universe and of all life. But what is that made of? It's not just electromagnetic waves. The sunlight is coming from the Brahma Jyoti, and the Brahma Jyoti is made of an infinite number of jivas, of eternal souls. It's the way we enter into the material world. And eventually we fall down on the earth as drops of rain, and then it's absorbed by plants like wheat or rice, and then people eat it, and then we become a seed of the father and the ovum of the mother, and then life comes. like that. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, merging into an impersonal light, it is not impersonal. It's actually made up of infinite number of living entities. But the living entities are in a precarious situation. Why? Because there is no ashraya. There is no shelter in the light. There's shelter, and that light in the spiritual world encompasses all the Vaikuntha planets. It's supporting all life, just like it's supporting all life here, you see. So, if you don't take shelter on one of the Vaikuntha planets, then you fall down eventually. Okay? So, it's already, in a sense, a fallen position. But the impersonalist philosophers all try and convince us that that's the ultimate goal of life, is to merge into that impersonal light. And they say, basically, to do that, you have to reject everything in the material world, including Krishna. Because Krishna is also just an ordinary person like us, maybe a little bit better than us, but an ordinary person also. You must reject all individuality and merge into that impersonal light. So this is like Nim Hakim Khatrejan. Half doctor means no doctor. Your life is in danger. See? So there is such a thing as this light. There is such a thing as the Brahma Jyoti. But it is not the ultimate goal of realization of God. It's one initial realization of God. But behind the light, there is the Supreme Personality of God, or Krishna, from whose body this eternal light is coming. Okay, so here we see today that everything belongs to Krishna. Therefore, real knowledge is how to use everything correctly in the service of Krishna. If we do that, then we become dear to the Lord, and the Lord gives us special attention. He'll protect us, He'll give us knowledge, and He'll give us everything we need in order to function in this world. So, therefore, spiritual life is understanding our complete dependence on the Lord and having faith in it. And then, just like when you have a child, that child depends completely on the parents. If there's an economic downturn, if there's a war, if there's a famine, the child is not worried because he knows or she knows that my mother and father are going to take care of me. So in the same way, if we develop faith in Krishna, no matter what happens, we will not fall into anxiety because we know God is going to take care of us. And why do we know? Because we're always practicing devotional service in our life, whether it's in a home or in a temple or wherever. This is the solution to all life's problems. And this is what gives people the self-confidence also to take risks to serve God. Just like whenever you preach in a public place, you're taking a risk. You don't know who's there. There can be crazy people, right? Just like that man that wanted me to be his disciple. There are crazy people everywhere. But Krishna will protect his devotee even in the most dangerous situations. So thank you very much. We will stop there. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask? Yes.
One of the four messages from Gita.
One of the four messages of the Gita.
One of the main messages.
Or the main message of the Gita. Go ahead. You have to get a microphone. Microphone? Bring.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribol.
I have been studying Sanskrit and Gita for last 3-4 years, and when I was in school, there were few shlokas on the walls in the classrooms. And one of those from Gita was the Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhu ma te sangastu akarmani. And I understood only the first two lines as a boy. Sanskrit was not a subject, and now as I studied, I understand it. My question to you or this evening's message is that line, that shloka gives us, we have a right for karmani. I have a right on my karmas, what I choose to do. And I do not recall which adhyaya in Gita, but he mentions that karma yoga is the highest yoga. So I can do bhakti in the evening, but I still must do karma in the Lord, in that state of devotion. So my question is, there is karma yoga, there is jnana yoga, there is our bhakti yoga. So in this, as I try to make sense, I still have to do something to eat in the evening and attend this Sankirtan. So I think I need all of them. Life is more joyful if I can work and do devotion and various things. I just wanted to ask that as a question for sanity.
It's a very
check.
good question. This verse is a very popular verse in India. Karmani vadikara se mafale sukadachana la karma phala hetu buhur mate sangastu akarmani. So this verse basically says that Krishna tells Arjuna, you have a right to do your prescribed duty, but you do not have the right, or you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of action, or the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So this is a verse that has no wiggle room in it. Do you know what that means, wiggle room? Like, there was a famous magician named Houdini, and one trick he would do is he would have him, people would tie him up with a chain, and they'd throw him into a river, right? And he would come out alive because he would wiggle. He could twist his body like a pretzel. He could wiggle out of the chain. He learned how to do that. He could twist his body. It was like a yogi. He could twist his body and get out of the chain, no matter how tight they made it, right? And people would just be amazed. He was one of the greatest magicians in the United States. You know how he died? He claimed that anyone could punch him, and he could absorb the punch, and it wouldn't hurt him. So one man punched him right in his stomach, and he died. That's what happens when you have a false ego. Anyway, this verse does not give any wiggle room. He says, you have a right to do your duty. You have no right to the results. It should be offered to me, basically he's saying. Nor should you consider yourself the cause of the action. In other words, don't take credit. You be a humble person, right? And then he says, and don't give up doing your duty. That's what this verse is about. He's not saying do karma during the day and bhakti at night. It's nothing like that. He's talking about how activity should be pure motivation, no selfishness involved in it. It should be purely to please the Lord. Then all the benedictions come to you. The devas cooperate with you because they're the servants of Krishna. And Bhumi Devi cooperates with you. The hurricanes cooperate with you. The earthquakes cooperate with you. In other words, everyone else might be dying around you. Somehow or other, you'll be saved. This is the Lord's mercy. This is what happened to Arjuna. Everyone was dying around him, right? 640 million people died in 18 days of battle. There's never been a war with so many casualties, right? World War II, only 60 million people died. Vietnam War, only 55 million, every 55,000 American soldiers died, you know. But in Battle of Kurukshetra, 640 million people died. But nothing happened to the Pandavas. Why? Because Krishna was on their side. He was protecting them. They should have died. They were not able to defeat Karna, nor could they defeat Bhisma, nor could they defeat Dronacharya. But they did, because Krishna was on their side. So we should learn. These are not fairy tales. These are not just stories. These are facts that have happened in Vedic history. And we should understand the one thing we need more than anything else is protection. Right? No family can protect their children, because you can't watch your children 24 hours a day. Therefore, you should pray to Krishna to protect your children. Actually, you don't even have to pray to Krishna to protect your children. You just pray to Krishna. He knows what you need. We need more than anything else protection. God's protection. If we have that, then we can live without anxiety. We know that somehow or other God is going to protect me. As He protected Prahlad Maharaj, as He protected Draupadi, as He protected Arjuna, as He's protected so many devotees in the past, He will protect you also. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Any other questions? That was a good question. Very good question. Okay, so thank you very much. We will have Arti. The sponsors of our feast tonight are Nitin and Kunjan, is it Kunjan? On the occasion of Travishi's birthday. And there's a second birthday of Murali. And next Saturday is our Diwali Festival of Lights at the Seattle Armory, the Seattle Center in the Armory building where all the restaurants are. This is, I think, our 4th or 5th year. It's going to be a big festival. There's going to be a lot of very, very high-class entertainment, many, many interactive booths, and we'll have, you know, Ayurvedic cooking booths, we'll have make your Ganesha booth, we'll have make your own spice blend, we'll have our aromatherapy booth, there'll be henna booth, all free, there'll be prasadam, all free, and we also have a Madhupani painting display, we have Golu display, we have a mandala making display, and many, many things are going to be happening. A lot of wonderful interactive cultural things. You're all invited. Next Saturday from 12 to 6 at the Seattle Center, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And during the week, we have the visit of another, a very nice devotee, Dr. Keshava Anandas, from the 17th to the 20th. And every Saturday night, we go out on Nagar, or Harinam Sankirtan, with our free food truck to 50th and University Way. Please come and join us. It's a lot of fun. And you can help us feed prasadam to the people. Now, my good friend, Agnidev Prabhu is going to lead the Kirtan. He's a very wonderful person, very wonderful devotee. You'll hear him speaking also, and now we're going to hear him chant Hare Krishna. We can set up a chair for him here with the microphone. Also, I want to wish everyone happy Navaratri, and also we're going to have a Ram Vijay celebration soon, so thank you. Oh, microphone here. Oh, okay. It might not fit in there. You try it. Yeah.
This doesn't fit.
There, you can use this.
Sunday,
Huh?
like tonight, Sunday night, do we sing the art and song?
Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Arotiko Shobha Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Arotiko Shobha Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Arotiko Shukanarada Ribigada Gada Bhakati Vinoda Devi Gaurara Sampada Bhakati Vinoda Devi Gaurara Sampada Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arutiko Shoma Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Shoma Jana Vitasa Bane Jagamana Lova Jana Vitasa Bane Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nika Gaura Hari Bol
Jai Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada
Jai Nitya Lilom Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribrajakachajastu Tarasata Srishiman. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Harivilas Thakur ki. Sadguru Swami Prabhu's ki. Prem se go Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki. Sri Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Ganga Devi Jamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. Harinam Mahamantra ki. Brihat Mridanga Seva ki. Parama Karuna Sri Sri Gaur Nityananda ki. Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki. Sri Sri Radha Nilamadava ki. Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki. Sri Nishingadev Bhagwan ki. Sambhira Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Bring a chair for me, please. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Daine Pralada Lada Daine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Silatankana Kalaye Silatankana Kalaye Ito Nasingho Parato Nasingho Ito Nasingho Parato Nasingho Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasingho Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasingho Bahir Nasingho Hridai Nasingho Bahir Nasingho Hridai Nasingho Nisinghamading Sharanam Prapadye Nisinghamading Sharanam Prapadye Adbhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringham Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Vade Nakam Adbhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringham Keshavadri Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nishingadev Jaya Nishingadev Nishingadev Jaya Nishingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Narahari, Jaya Narahari, Narahari, Jaya Narahari. Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Hare Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So we have several birthdays tonight. First of all, Tavishi. Tavishi's birthday. She's turning 4 years old, and we have a cake for her. And her father, who loves her very much, is Nitin Malhotra. And also we have Murali. Murali's birthday, wherever he is. And we have Suji Mataji, Suji, and what is her initiated name? What's Suji's initiated name? Sujata Radhika Devi Dasi's birthday. I think she's like 16 or 17 or something like that. So and I think we have a birthday cake, so there's an offering being done now, so we have to wait a few minutes.
It's done. Cake is offered. It's offered.
Where is it? Okay, so the cake is already offered. So can Tavishi, who is 4 years old, come forward? If Tavishi's father is here, bring her forward, Haribo. And also